Dr. Zaid Muhammad from International Islamic University of Malaysia, and the Honorable Mr. Bapak Abdurrahman Al-Faqih, one of our expert, one of our best lecturer in Faculty of Law. Pak Faqih, I hope all of the lecturers in here now in a best conditions to deliver certain material for all of the students. And without further ado, we will have 30 minutes for Dr. Zaid to deliver the material regarding the modern Islamic constitutional law. So all of the students in here, firstly, we would like to introduce Dr. Zaid Muhammad. He is an expert in Islamic constitutional law, and he is come from Malaysia. Welcome, Dr. Zaid, in our university, and we hope our collaborations in education and research could be last longer. And then next, after Dr. Zaid deliver the material, we will continue to the sessions of Mr. Abdurrahman Al-Faqih, or usually the student call him Pa Alpha. Pa Alpha, we will give you 30-minute maximums, and after that, we will have the Q&A sessions, question and answer sessions. Hopefully, before 3 p.m., we could end this seminar today. And for the first sessions, for Dr. Zaid Muhammad, I think the floor is yours. Dr. Zaid, please. Yeah. Dr. Zaid, would you like to share screen? No? Okay. Okay, already, yeah. We will remind you later, Dr. Zaid, don't worry. Just, yeah, take your floor.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, I think before I start my lecture, I think I will do some ice breaking. So I will introduce to you about myself. I'm Zaid Muhammad from Malaysia. Actually, my KTP is Malaysian, but my heart is Indonesian. One of my hobbies is to travel backpacking. So I have traveled backpack to 55 countries, and I will finish all 205 countries before next 5 years. So I've been to 55 countries, and I've seen people around the world. Actually, you get surprised when I tell you that my top favorite country in the world is China, and second, Indonesia. Before I went to China, Indonesia was number one. But when I went to China already 6 times, and I stayed there for 7 months. So now China became number one. I know in Indonesia, China is a sensitive country, and I have a WhatsApp among the Indonesian friends, and all of them, about I think 50 people inside, they all hate China. I said, you go to China and see yourself. So normally when you go to, because this is because of media. So you have a negative information about from the Western media, because Indonesia and Malaysia, you bought news from the Western sources, and you know, when you bought news from the Western sources, they give you one condition: you can expand the news, you can shorten the news, but you cannot change the stance of the news. So the stance is negative, so you receive negative perception about the country. So I think, to me, because I was also like most of you, hate China before I went to China. But when I went there, my perspective changed upside down. Okay. Another thing, I've been teaching in UEE and UMEA. I'm not new with your UEE. So I've been teaching in UEE for 13 years now. Maybe your batch, I did not teach because of pandemic. So I have not taught. I've stopped teaching for 3 years, right? So this is my first country traveling outside after pandemic. Yeah. Yeah, but I told my friends, I said, after pandemic, the first city will be Jogja. So okay, so that is about myself. Okay, let's start our lecture. Okay, I think I will walk around. That's why I don't use. I don't know there is somebody doing. Okay, I give you notes so you can see the notes and hey, you get different thing. Oh, okay. This is for the 2035. Is this one?
Oh, okay.
You got wrong. This is for tomorrow. Let me check. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is for tomorrow. Not for today. Yeah. Wrong notes. Okay, just wait. Wait first. Okay.
Or maybe we could share the screen for the today's material.
Huh?
Share the screen first while waiting for the copy.
Okay. I think so. It's Islamic law in Malaysia, because that one is Islamic constitutional law.
This one?
Yes. But that one is not. I think you better open
The new file.
PowerPoint. PowerPoint better. Better PowerPoint. Salam. Get the PowerPoint. PowerPoint Islamic law in Malaysia. No. Yes. Is that PowerPoint? So try. Then. Okay. Same thing. Because normally I like to use notes. Yeah. Because notes you can see all points inside. Okay. Never mind. Next. Okay. Okay, actually the topic today is Islamic law in Malaysia. tomorrow will be Islamic constitutional law. Yeah. So the notes you have is wrong notes. So use it for tomorrow. Okay. We have limited time. I've prepared this for 1 hour, but I'm given only 30 minutes. So I will do the express lecture. So I speed double. Yeah. Okay. So to finish in 30 minutes. Okay. So these are the topics which we are going to cover. Okay. As you see, we will get to know what Malaysia is first, to make it clear legally and politically. Okay, one, Malaysia is a federation. It is not unitary. Indonesia is unitary, but Malaysia is not unitary. What I mean is, Malaysia, you have 14 states. So before we get independence, there were 14 independent states. So we came together and we established Malaysia. So you have, from the top, you have Kelantan. You remember the countries, states in Malaysia? Kelantan, Terengganu, Pahang, Johor, and then Melaka, and then Negeri Sembilan, and Selangor, and then Perak, and Kedah, Penang, Perlis, and then you have 3 wilayah persekutuan, Kuala Lumpur, Putrajaya, you have not been there, Putrajaya, and Labuan in Sabah, so 14, okay? So it is a federation. So Malaysia is called a federation, not a unitary state. Okay, number 2, Malaysia is a monarchy. Okay, so we have king. Yeah, so we have we have 9 king and 2 governors. It's okay. I like the disturbance as well.
So sorry, Dr. Zaid, it seems that there are a lot of students who would like to join in this class.
It's okay. We are living in the world, not in the paradise. In the paradise, it will not happen like this. Okay. So also in other things in your life, when you have a negative thing in your life, don't get worried, because this is life. Huh? Okay. So if you have negative things in life in this world, don't get worried, because you have 2 faces in this world. One is positive, another one is negative. Everybody and every day. So if you get negative things, don't get worried and don't get stressed, don't get depressed, because we are living in the world, okay? Not in the paradise. Okay, and focus on the negative, focus on the positive, forget about the negative. So you will enjoy your life. Okay, number 2, Malaysia is monarchy. So we have king. And we have 9, I think I will explain you later. So it is monarchy, it is not a presidential or republic, okay? Malaysia is a secular state. We come together, we come later on. Malaysia is a common law state, it's not Islamic state, it's not Islamic law state. Malaysia is multiracial state. You will come later on, you know about all those Bumiputra, non-Bumiputra, you know, Chinese, Malay, Iban. That is important in Malaysia because they have different rights. You know, they have different rights. Not all citizens have the same rights. Like Indonesia, I think everybody has the same rights. But Malaysia, not everybody has the same rights. So that's why we mentioned this, multiracial states. Yeah? Because in Malaysia, if you are a Malay, you have so many special rights. They call it privileges. Even you buy a house, the price is different. You know, I'm as a Malay, when I buy a house from any company, I get 7% discount. But if you are non-Malays, you pay full, 100%. So that's why we mentioned this, okay? Okay, next. We go to Islamic law in Malaysia, brief history, proof that Islamic law was the law of the land. I mean, before the coming of British, Islamic law was the law of the land in Malaysia. But at that time, they don't call Malaysia. Malaysia is called after 1957. So before 1957, it is known as Tanah Melayu. So that is milik orang Melayu, bukan milik orang Cina. Okay, so we go one by one later on. The statement from Wilkinson, you know, historian, British historian, statement from, in the case of Rama and Latun in the court, and then statement from Edmund, is a judge in Malaysia during British time, in Sheikh Abdul Latif bin Elias Bucks. A statement of Gibson is also a historian. And then, why something wrong is there? It should be number 5. Undang-Undang Padu Ketuan Kedah. You see, life in this world. Always mistake happen like this. And number 5, actually number 6. Statement of W.F. Roth, historian, about Kelantan. I will read the statement quickly, expressed later on. Article 51 Constitution of Terengganu, Undang-Undang Pahang, Risalah Hukum Kanun Johor, and Hukum Kanun Melaka. All these authorities prove that before the coming of British, the law in Malaysia was Islamic law. That means Malaysia was Islamic state before the coming of British. And then when British came, British changed the position of Malaysia as a secular state. Yeah? Okay. Characteristics of Islamic law. Tomorrow we will learn about this more, that Malaysia as a secular state. It's not Islamic as most people think. It is not Islamic state. It is secular by law. Okay, characteristics of Islamic law in Malaysia. 1, Islamic law in Malaysia is only applicable to Muslims. So non-Muslims, they have their own law. Different law for different citizens. Okay, I'm not sure about Indonesia. I think one law for the whole citizen. But in Malaysia, we have 2. One law for Muslims and another law for non-Muslims. Okay? Applicable only to Muslims. Second, limited only to family, inheritance, and religious crimes. Small, you know, like if you don't fast in Ramadan, in Malaysia, you don't fast in Ramadan, you get maximum 3 years imprisonment. Yes, if you are caught. Yeah. If you are caught. If you don't go to Friday prayers, you may get imprisonment for 3 years maximum in Malaysia. So those are the crimes, religious crimes mentioned. That is mentioned in Constitution. And then Islamic law is a state law. It's not Malaysian law. We have, 14 states, And these 14 states have their own Islamic law. And the courts, the Islamic courts, are the state courts. It's not Malaysian courts. So it's state courts. So the law in Terengganu is different from Islamic law in Terengganu, different from Islamic law in Selangor. And Islamic law in Selangor is different from Islamic law in police. For example, in police, it is stated that the Islamic law applicable in police only according to Ahli Sunnah wal Jama'ah. So Shia is not recognized, or any other mazhab is not recognized in police. But in other states, all mazhab are used, including Shia. So different, okay? Jurisdiction of Sharia courts, so small, you know. It is only limited to 3 years of imprisonment, the punishment, 5,000 fine, and 6 lashes of whipping. So if you don't go to Friday prayers or you don't fast in Ramadan, you may get this. You may get 3 years imprisonment, you may get 5,000 fine, and you may get 6 lashes of whipping. Okay? So if you go to Malaysia, do fast. Okay. And then number 5, if there is any contradiction between state law and federal law prevails. Federal law is secular. And you remember when I said Islamic law is the state law? So if Islamic law, any part of Islamic law, which is state law, contradicts the federal law, which is secular, the secular law prevails. The secular law wins. So that is the situation. So how do you say Malaysia is Islamic? It is not. Okay. And in every state they have their own Sharia courts, which adjudicate, using the Islamic law. So you have 3 levels of court: the Sharia lower court, Sharia high court, and Sharia appeal court. So 3 levels, but remember, there is another level. The highest level is federal court, which is Mahkamah Agung here. Federal court, which is the highest. So any case, if any of the parties are not satisfied with the Sharia court, after going to appeal court, they will go to a secular court. The highest court is secular. That means these Sharia courts are under secular courts. So there are lower levels of courts, okay? And then we will see the civil jurisdiction of Sharia court. Civil jurisdiction of Sharia court is only limited to family law, inheritance, and the religious crime, and some other religious matters like administration of mosque, administration of, No, Hajj is not, because Hajj was not yet managed during British time. This is British law. This law is made, even Islamic law is made by British. It's made by British. So Hajj was not yet managed during that time. And then the criminal law, as I mentioned, only religious law, like not fasting in Ramadan and not doing Jama'ah prayers. And then separation of jurisdiction between secular court and the Sharia court. So this jurisdiction, the jurisdiction of the Islamic court cannot be brought to secular courts. So if anyone brings a case to secular court will pass to Sharia courts. But remember one thing, which I will mention tomorrow because it's related to Constitution. Sorry, I have already mentioned. Okay. I have mentioned already, number 5. If there is any contradiction between Islamic law and the federal law, which is secular, then the secular law wins. So we have to ignore the Islamic law in the case of contradiction. For example, I'll give you for example, because we have to do it express. For example, I'll give you an example, the contradiction, like this. In Sharia law, if two couples, Muslims, if two couples non-Muslims, one of the spouses convert to Islam, according to the Sharia law, the marriage is dissolved automatically, except if the wife is Christians or Jews, Ahlul Kitab. If the wife is Ahlul Kitab, if they separate, actually, they are still husbands. If one of them converts, the husband, if the husband converts to Islam, the marriage doesn't dissolve. Okay? Is that correct? No, because I fear that I give you wrong example. So if one of the spouses converts and the wife is Ahlul Kitab, Christians, then the marriage doesn't dissolve. But if the wife is not a Christian and the wife converts to Islam, okay? Say, for example, two Hindus, okay? One converts to Islam, then according to Sharia law, the marriage dissolves automatically. According to Sharia law, one becomes Muslim, then the marriage dissolves automatically. You don't have to go to court. But that is according to Sharia law. But according to secular law, which is applicable only to non-Muslims, okay, because in Malaysia you have two laws. One is applicable to Muslims, another is applicable to non-Muslims. So, according to secular law, if two Hindus, Hindu couple, one became a Muslim, the wife became a Muslim, becomes a Muslim, according to secular law, which is applicable to non-Muslims, the marriage does not dissolve. You get the point? Yes. According to the Sharia law, the marriage dissolved. But according to federal law, the marriage does not resolve. They are still husband and wife, although the wife is Muslim. Okay? So in this case, which one is applicable? The federal. And they ignore the Islamic law. So that is the meaning. If there is any contradiction between state law and federal law wins. So the secular law wins. So the secular law in Malaysia is more powerful than the Islamic law. Okay, I have already explained, all this. This is the express lecture. So, Johor, Kedah, Kelantan, Melaka, Negeri Sembilan, Pahang, Penang, Perak, Perlis, Sabah, Sarawak, Selangor, Terengganu, and Wilayah Persekutuan. Because this is the old one, you have Kuala Lumpur, Putrajaya, and Labuan. 14 states. And Malaysia is a monarchy, So you have seven sultan, if you want to understand. You have seven sultan. Johor, Kedah, Kelantan, Pahang, Perak, Selangor, you have sultan. Like Jogja, right?
Yes.
And the Perlis, you have not sultan, Raja. Okay? And then Negeri Sembilan is according to, you know, these people are from Padang, Adat Bupati. So the whole country, the whole state, following Adat Perpati culture. So they don't call sultan, but they call Yang di-Pertuan Besar. Anyone from Padang here? No? Or you don't want to admit? Okay? So Negeri Sembilan is a totally different from other states because Negeri Sembilan follow adat Perpati, like in Padang. So even the house also like this. Minang Kabau, Menang Kerbau. Okay, so the whole Negeri Sembilan, except those houses which are modernized, then you see the modern. Okay, but if you go to Negeri Sembilan, I also don't understand when they speak fast, because they speak this kampuang. So, you know, you know Padang language, huh? Are you from Padang? No? Okay. And then Sabah and Sarawak, they call it Yang di-Pertua, not Sultan. So these are, Melaka and Penang, they call it governors, because you know Sultan of Melaka was, deposed by the British. So Melaka doesn't have a Sultan now. Okay, I want to do it in detail, this one. Remember, most of people think Malaysia is Islamic State. No. Malaysia is not Islamic State. Malaysia is a secular state. So these are the documents which show that Malaysia is a secular state. I mentioned secular state, but I'm not sure whether you understand what secular state is. Have you heard? What is secular? Secular. I know your Indonesia is also secular, but do you know what is secular is? Secularism. No, that is not. That is not. That is characteristic. It's not the definition. Separate religion from politics. It's not definition. It is characteristic of secularism. But what is the definition? Keep this in mind and never forget until you transfer to another world. Don't forget this, because so many people use the word secular without understanding. So the definition of a secularism is emancipation of man from God. You know emancipation? It's free man from God, to free man from God. So you don't want to be attached to God's law. Another word. There is another word in definition. Emancipation of man from God and metaphysics. Now, what is metaphysics? Okay, metaphysics means unseen thing. Unseen. Ghaibiat. Like paradise, like mahsyar. After you die, you will go to. So all this, and then including genie. Genie is also metaphysics. So do you believe in genie or not? Jinn. A Muslim must believe in genie. A Muslim must believe in mahsyar. Muslim must believe in paradise. Muslim must believe in hell. All these are metaphysics. So the secular people do not believe in this. Secular people free themselves from God, so they don't follow God's law. So any state which does not follow God's law is a secular state. So that is the meaning of secular, okay? So let's see in details a little bit, just to prove that Malaysia is a secular state. Okay, report of the Federation Malaysian Constitution Commission 1957, before independence, because our constitution is prepared by Reed Commission, British people. Statement number 1. The religion of Malaysia should be Islam. Okay? That's why so many people think that Malaysia is Islamic. Because the federal, Indonesia doesn't have that. Okay? So it's clear. But Malaysia is not clear because Malaysia has this. The religion of Malaysia should be Islam. The observance of this principle shall not impose any disability of non-Muslim nationals professing and practicing their own religions, and shall not imply that the state is not secular state. There is no use putting Islam as a religion in the constitution, but the state is a secular state. We'll come tomorrow, or maybe there is here, I forgot, but I will explain that. Statement number 2. There has been included in the federal constitution that Islam is the religion of federation. This will no way affect the present position of the federation as a secular state. Very clear, right? This is Chief Justice, former Chief Justice of Malaysia, Sufyan Hashim. What did he say? The intention of making Islam as the official religion of the federation was primarily for ceremonial purpose. For instance, to enable prayers to be offered in the Islamic way on official occasions. Like installation of YDP. YDP is Yang di-Pertuan Agong. Agong, we call YDP. Merdeka Day or similar occasions. So in Malaysia, whether you are Muslim, you are non-Muslims, you have to do doa according to Islamic way. In Indonesia, you have 4 doa according to 4 religions. Okay, but Malaysia, in the army, you are Muslim, you are non-Muslim, you have to follow Islamic. Yeah? Okay, only one. That is the purpose of putting Islam in the constitution. No otherwise. No, you have to do it. You have to do it because it is law. Yeah, it is law. Okay. Official report of Legislative Council debate in 1958. This translation probably. This is the word of Ketua Abdul Rahman. You know Ketua Abdul Rahman, right? Or you don't know? Never heard. No? First Prime Minister of Malaysia after Merdeka. Okay. What did he say? I would like to clarify that this state is not an Islamic state, as it is understood by the public. We only provide Islam as the official religion. Okay. I will go to number 5 because number 4 is not doesn't have much point. Number 5, Article 3.1 and Article 3.4. This is the main point you should understand about the characteristics of Islam in Malaysia. Article 3.1 in the Constitution. Islam is the religion of the Federation. Clear? Right? But other religions may be practiced in peace and harmony in any part of the Federation. So everybody can have their own religion, okay, according to this. But 3.4, you see 3.4? I make it darker. For those who are not clear, don't have a clear eyes. Nothing. This is in the same article, 3.1, 3.4. Nothing in this article derogates from any other provision in this constitution. Why is derogate? Reduce the power of other provisions. That means Article 3.1 is alone out of 300 over provisions, articles in constitution. Is alone doesn't have friends. Or if I can make a clear vision, I use color. So the color of the constitution is yellow, but this one green. And this one cannot affect, that is the meaning of derogates, cannot affect any other provisions in the Constitution. What is the use? What is the use? So Islam is the religion of liberation, but no power. Doesn't have power on, if you find any contradictions in the Constitution, to number 3.1, the other provisions are stronger. Cannot be disturbed by 3.1. So 3.1 has no power at all. This is only ceremonial. Okay? So, and then, why do I do this?
Sorry, Dr. Zaid, for interrupting, but
Oh, repeating. Oh, okay.
yeah, maybe 2 minutes later, Dr. Zaid. Sorry for the limitation of time. Yeah.
Okay. So Malaysia is a common law. Yours, Indonesia is civil law. Civil law state. It's civil law with capital letter. C is capital and L is capital. C is capital, L is capital. So we just go with Article 3 of civil law and amendment. Yeah. Go to the dark sentence. The court shall apply the common law of England and the rules of equity as administered in England. That is after 1957. So all laws must be in line with the common law in England. Now we are 75 years independence, still not changed. We are waiting for a strong leader to change. Okay. Malaysia, multiracial. Okay, citizens are divided into 3 categories. You have 1 category, so you have less problem. I see Indonesian are more happier than Malaysians. So much. I don't know of depressed people in Malaysia, but I don't see many depressed people here. Okay, citizens are divided into 3 categories. 1, Malay, Bumi Putra, Melayu. Non-Malay Bumi Putra, Dayak, Wajau, Katazan, Islam, Asian, and non-Bumi Putra, Chinese and Indian. Okay? And in the case of Chen Di Nyo, the case in court, Mahkamah Agung, now is Federal Court, decided that Chinese customs are not considered as Bumi Putra customs. So they are not Bumi Putra. So they don't have this privilege to buy house with 7% discount. Scholarship. Malays and other Bumi Putras are given priority. So very limited Chinese and Indians get scholarship. And a post in the government made so few Chinese non-Bumi Putra get the post in the government. So all these among the privileges of the Malay and Bumi Putra. And then green, money, and blue. Okay, I have already mentioned. So this understanding.
So sorry, Dr. Zaid. Yeah, we have to stop the explanation. I think your explanation is much interesting, but we have to continue to the next session. Maybe we can discuss. Yeah. Okay, thank you all, Dr. Zaid. Okay, take a Sami, Doctor. Okay, class, we will continue the next session that will be delivered by Pak Alfa. Okay, Pak Alfa will deliver about the cyber law in Indonesia and in Islamic perspective. Okay, please, Pak Alfa, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Bu Moderator. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, guys, now it's my turn. I would like to share in express as well because of the time. So actually, we would offer you a little bit more time for discussion, I think. So the committee offered me to assign you as a speaker this forum with the title Cyber Dispute Resolution and Islamic Response. Yeah. So there are 3 points or that I would share to you. Yeah. So the slides much more having a wordy slides, actually not a PowerPoint slide, but it's okay. This is just kind of transferring knowledge. Yeah. And most of the slides is actually a resume of my understanding based on references. Yeah. So it is not based on the official research findings. So yeah, it's just simulation or complementary knowledge. We wait for the slides. Yes. Yeah. So 3 points that I would share is the first one is regarding cyber technology, yeah, and the second one is about cyber dispute resolution, which is the main title or topic or remark in this forum, and the last one is the Islamic response regarding the cyber dispute resolution. It's okay. I will go with the explanation without what is it, sharing the slide here. Okay, the first slide is about cyber. Okay, this is here we go. So I will start with the cyber definition. So we are used to listen and hear about the cyber, right? What is cyber means? Cyber. If it is translated to Indonesia, it is called cyber, right? Is it official translation? So what does it mean, cyber? So the problem of meaning or understanding this word translation is actually happening also when we try to understand the original word of cyber in English. So if you can see here, the lexical item cyber actually defined as a sorting of the word cybernetics. So cyber is actually coming from cybernetics. Yeah, the original word of cyber is cybernetics. So it means involved or using, yeah, and relating to computers. So that's cybernetics. Yeah, before I continue, I start with this terminology definition or understanding of this meaning, because we cannot get the whole full understanding when we try to find out what is cyber dispute resolution without understanding about the word of cyber. Okay, so then after that, the term of cybernetic comes from, yeah, the original word of cybernetic actually comes from the Greek word kybernetes. I'm sorry, I think it is a wrong pronunciation or it is not the correct one, but it is written kybernetes, or it is called spearman, yeah, or guide or governor. So it is also derived from Kybernet, yeah, means that I think it is a verb, yeah, to steer or pilot a ship or direct as a pilot. So it's kind of governor or a guidance or guide, yeah, a guide person. So this is actually the meaning of cybernetics, which evolved to be cyber, yeah. But then since 1948, this word evolved, yeah, with different meanings, yeah. The first popular using of this word happened in 1948 with the definition of the science of control and communication in animal and machines. So using or the cyber word used in that year is actually to describe, yeah, about the science of control and communication in animal and machine. Over the time, after 1948, then it became associated with the growing field of computer science, yeah, from 1960s to 1990s, okay. And the most known and most lasting, yeah, using this word happened in 1960s and 1980s and also 1990s until 2000s, yeah. So the using of this word described the enormous rise of the use of electronic or the shortening E, yeah, electronic. So then this is the evolution of using word of cyber, yeah. At that time, or at the period, 192000, the cyber has been pushed to a specific domain of IT communication, particularly describe digital wrongdoing, such as criminal activities conducted by internet. So then, this is what I would like to show, why then we need to understand about cyber word. And based on the research done by Sigita and Ludmila, both are linguistic scholars, yeah, they conducted a research regarding this word because they found ambiguity and also problems in understanding of this word. And finally, they revealed that from this word can be described into three macro categories. Yeah, the first one is offensive activities, means that sometimes people use cyber to describe the offensive activities, which aiming at illicit control, means illicit illegal control of data in a global computer network. But another occasion or another purpose using the word to describe the global computer network and the data resident in it, means basically when we talk or use cyber, we would like to show or tell our listener that we are actually talking about data resident in it, the data of global computer. And the last one is cyber used also to describe the aspect of protective activities, which aims at the protection of security of the data in the global computer. Means maybe also people or citizen or academics, yeah, when they use cyber, they would describe about how to secure, how to protect, yeah, the data in the global network. So those three categories revealed by Sigita and Luitma. This is very important to know because from those categories we can see many terminologies such as cyberspace, cyber domain, cyber issues, cyber incident, cyber crisis, yeah, as well as cyber attack, cyber espionage, cyber bullying, cyber warfare, yeah, as well as cyber expert, cyber awareness, cyber resilience, cyber stability, cyber security ecosystem, hygiene, cyber defense, many cybers, including cyber dispute resolution. So by understanding this meaning or lexicology word of cyber, we can appropriately use the word of cyber. So what about then the cyber law in Indonesia? Is there any cyber law in Indonesia? Yeah, do Indonesian government recognize or issued? We have specific regulation about cyber law. Yeah, so or is cyber law, yeah, understood as the law that regulate many things, as we have discussed in the previous issue, which is about three categories, or not, or it is particularly related to a business or particular aspect of our life. Yeah, as we know that we have public law as well as private law, right? So if we compare to, or we going back to the definition of cyber, then cyber can, insert or attach whether in a public as well as in a private. But is it true that cyber law will cover all aspect public and private? So let me see here. Actually, I would like to show from these slides, that the cyber terminology is still debatable in Indonesia. We do not have a singular or fixed or definitive meaning of cyber. As I said before, cyber is translated to cyber. Is it cyber law? Do we have cyber law? No. What is cyber? Some people say cyber is Maya. You know Maya? Like metaphysics. You said before, right? Is it metaphysics? Or something else? Or is it something related to the internet or computer? As we know that computer is quite different with internet, right? So if you define cyber as a computer in one condition and another condition as internet, so it is contradictory. It is not a singular or definitive meaning. So then we do not have any singular or definitive cyber. That's the problem why the terminology error remains among the legal scholar as well as parliament. They don't want to enact specific cyber law yet. But most legal scholar like who is it? I forgot the name, the dean at Faculty of Law in Universitas Indonesia, Edmond Makarim. Edmond Makarim is acknowledged as one of the cyber law expert because he did for his PhD research about cyber law. He didn't use word or terminology cyber, IoT technology, digital evidence, and also as well as artificial intelligence. Is there artificial intelligence? No, they don't cover it. Maybe it is included in IoT, yeah, technology, cryptocurrencies, metaverses. So those are the scope of cyber law. So if Indonesian government consider that cyber law is very important right now, and they should enact a specific regulation, of course they should consider those aspects, including or attach into their law as a provision. Yeah, they cannot erase or ignore some part while other part is adopted into provision. So it's not comprehensive law finally. So then the second point is about cyber dispute resolution. Is this a specific terminology with a specific meaning? Actually, the difference or the key is only cyber, yeah. But dispute resolution is a common understanding about dispute resolution in legal aspect, in a legal discussion, yeah. Many references that I have read, yeah, display or explain that cyber dispute resolution doesn't exist in a specific kind of research or in specific aspect of law, yeah. But it is equal or it is the same like online dispute resolution. So that's interesting because we expect when we talk about cyber, we expect there is a specific law, yeah, that could be used to, yeah, to rely or to utilize the dispute settlement in the cyber, yeah, in the cyberspace perhaps, but it is impossible right now. It is just myth. Why? Because most legal scholars, especially practitioners in the dispute resolution, they don't recognize cyber dispute resolution. They see cyber word here is kind of online, yeah. So that's why online dispute resolution also referred as a cyber or dispute resolution and electronic alternative dispute resolution, yeah. And by their more aesthetic acronym, yeah, CDR, ADR, or ODR, yeah. So it includes recognized forms of ADR. Actually, cyber or online dispute resolution is just a name. In the practice, yeah, they use or recognize a form of alternative dispute resolution. It's a kind of traditional, conventional dispute resolution, yeah, such as arbitration, mediation, negotiation, yeah, within a cyberspace contact, yeah. Then they will attach the cyber word into arbitration, means then cyber arbitration, and also cyber mediation, cyber negotiation. So those are the issue, the scope related to the cyber dispute resolution. So this is the opposite of offline dispute resolution, refer to traditional face-to-face negotiation, mediation, and
arbitration. So it is essentially a branch of alternative dispute resolution. So that's the important part also. When you see or read or listen about cyber dispute resolution, actually it is talk about online dispute resolution, which is a part of alternative dispute resolution. So often referred to internet electronic dispute resolution, and the online proportion essentially involve conducting the process online. So just online dispute resolution is actually convert the mechanism of natural or the traditional mechanism into the online process. So it is frequently seen as the solution for resolving electronic commerce. Most practitioners see that online dispute resolution is useful for a dispute in the aspect of e-commerce only, specifically in e-commerce. So it means then we cannot see this cyber dispute resolution in the public aspect and the public law aspect. They don't have it. But in Indonesia, we can see here, or there in Indonesia, we can rely on several laws. Although those laws, doesn't stipulate it specific provision regarding online or cyber dispute resolution, but those laws can be relied on as the best source of laws to conduct online dispute resolution. Or in another word, online dispute resolution can be done in Indonesia according to those laws. The first law is number 30, arbitration, and alternative dispute resolution. The second law is number 11, 2008, and also the amendment of this law. And the third one is law number 7, 2014, which is concerning about trade, and also the government regulation number, if I'm not wrong, it is number 18, 2019. So how is the ODR or cyber dispute resolution works? This is kind of a mechanism of ODR. They consist of online settlement as well as online arbitration, online resolution of customer complaint, and online mediation. So actually when we talk about ODR, there are 4 components of mechanism including or attached in this ODR. Online settlement, it involves the use of expert system to automatically settle financial claims. So it will deal only for or with the financial claims. No other than financial claims. While online arbitration, it involves the use of website to resolve disputes with the help of qualified arbitrator or the third party. While online resolution of customer complaint will involve the use of email to handle certain types of customer complaints. So if you use marketplace, a certain marketplace, then you buy something there, and then you complain, you email them. So it is also considered as a part of ODR. The online market used to have this mechanism of ODR attached to their website. Why? Because it should provide the customer, especially when they want to, especially when they disappointed with what with the goods that they bought, yeah. So then they can lodge their complaint to that website. This is online resolution of customer or consumer complaints. And the last one is online mediation. Involves the use of website to resolve disputes with the help qualified mediator. I would admit myself now here, I'm not a practitioner. I don't have a license as an arbitrator as well mediator. So then all the the slides information is actually based on the normative, yeah, articles, yeah, not based on the practical things such maybe handling case. I don't have any cases to discuss or to deliver to you, unfortunately. So I ignore it. I acknowledge it, and then we can discuss it later on. 5 minutes? Okay.
2 minutes.
2 minutes, okay.
Left.
I still have 60 slides. In my laptop, I mean, not here, in my laptop. So this is a private organization, as I said before, that certain marketplace, they provide online dispute resolution, yeah. It is compulsory because of the government regulation number 18 2019, yeah. They have to have it. So the interesting thing when we talk about the dispute settlement, cyber dispute resolution, is this one. Have you heard about blockchain dispute resolution? So this is the new issues. Yeah, some scholar, Kemre Gadiolu Kamtepe, he actually a candidate PhD from Leicester University at UK. He did, or it's not yet done. I mean, he's doing a research about blockchain dispute resolution. In his research, in his paper, yeah, he said that it is possible, or whether it is possible to establish a specific mechanism in blockchain dispute or not. As we know that blockchain is technology behind infamous Bitcoin. Bitcoin, we know that's familiar right now in recent years, and provides structure of dispute resolution within the hubs of smart contract. So he said in his paper, in terms to establish a blockchain dispute resolution, it requires 2 elements. The first one is it should involve Bitcoin. The second one, it should be assisted by smart contract. So if the transaction, yeah, in the Bitcoin or blockchains doesn't consist those, it could not be, or it is impossible, or it is difficult to establish blockchain resolution. The blockchain dispute resolution, or BDR platform, offers services for disputes arising out of blockchains and smart contract. Yeah, because those are 2 elements in the BDR. So, but then the issue in this BDR is whether BDR can comply with the principle of the dispute resolution principle right now or not. Yeah, so that's the challenging, and also whether the process of dispute resolution through the blockchain could be considered as valid or legitimate or not. So it needs more regulation and further research. The last point about the Islamic response. How then Islam see? What is the perspective of Islam about the dispute resolution? There are several verses, yeah, in the Al-Quran that provide instruction for settling peacefully. Means that Al-Quran legitimate the dispute resolution, the alternative dispute resolution. We can see An-Nisa 120, Hujurat 9, as well as 10, and then An-Nisa 114 and 35. Even in the context of disputes or conflict that have escalated into open warfare, Islam teaching still support peace. So that's the basic or the ground of teaching of dispute resolution. So how about the legal status of
Okay.
ODR in Islam?
Thank you, Pak Alfa. So sorry.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
the last one. ODR in Islam is allowed. Yeah, it is okay to use ODR as long as there is no element violated religious provision, and as long as there is no element of breach an agreement, and as long as it is clear rules and mechanism in the choice of dispute between parties. So the last one, in Islam there are many types of about six types of dispute resolution that could be relied on. The first one is sulhu, and the second one is tahkim, arbitration. The third one madrab, and the fourth one is mustahib or ombudsman. The last one is intercation and interpretation, representation. Yeah, wasita and wakala. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you can discuss this certain issues. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Pak Alfa, for delivering interesting presentations. Okay, class, we will go on to the question and answer sessions. Please raise your hand if you have a certain questions, and don't forget to mention your name and then to whom your question is delivered to. Please, is there any questions? Okay, 1, 2, and once again maybe 3 questions. Okay, thank you. Pak, could you help me, Pak? You can deliver your question in Bahasa or in English, yeah? 2 girls in the back, in the corner. Yeah. Yeah, please mention your name first.
My name is Hana Hambali from Transnational Classroom, Corporation Classroom. I have question for Dr. Zaid Muhammad. You did mention that there's two kind of law in Malaysia for Muslim and non-Muslim. Like for Muslim, for example, if we are not fasting, we're going to be in prison for 3 years. But that's kind of law only work for Ahli Sunnah. But what if we are like golongan lain? How do we say golongan? Like for Syiah or something like that? Like, could we just lie about our golongan, or is it being write down in our ID on something that could be proof?
Could you explain us again your question, Mbak? You may use bahasa, Mbak. Diminta, there are two kinds of law in Malaysia, and then she was asking how if we do not in certain mazhab. So yeah, since Dr. Zaid already explained that. Yeah.
Oh, gini.
Yeah, laws.
Oh, gini.
Yeah. And then how if first how if for those who didn't have Islamic religion, and then whether I think misunderstanding whether what is the Islamic law applies in all states. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Would you like to re-explain?
Jadi itu kan hukuman kalau untuk Muslim,
Ya.
kalau kita nggak
Puasa?
puasa, kan kita bakal di penjara 3 tahun.
Ya.
Nah, kalau misal, tapi itu cuma untuk ahli sunnah kan.
Ya.
Kalau misal kita, apakah kita bisa berbohong tentang aliran kita gitu Bu? Atau
Oke. Oke, how to
apa ditulis
prove?
di ada
Ya.
ID kita gitu?
Ya. Oke, oke.
Thank you.
Get the point. Okay. Next question, please.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you for Mr. Zaid and Mr. Alpha. So the first.
Could you mention your
okay.
name?
Okay.
Yeah.
My name is Siti Aulia Syarifah Mutmainah, and I'm from Siti Aulia.
Siti Aulia.
Yes.
Okay.
Aulia is okay.
Okay,
And the
Mbak
first
Aulia.
question I will to Mr. Alpha, is that telematics law enough to regulate any cyber case?